with the COFA app. We have been a service of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years.
People collect all sorts of things: stamps, antique lamps, sports memorabilia. If you happen to collect cars and you're looking to make room in your collection, look no further than donating a vehicle to KAWC and Border Radio. Pickup is free, and you're helping this service bring you the programs you count on. Learn more at kawc.org/cars.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Jonny Porter.
And I'm Carmen Marquez.
And on today's program, we are joined first by Robert and Adriana Corona from Shalom Ink. Yeah, I used to live with Robert. He was a roommate of mine, so I'm going to tell everybody what it was like living with him. No, we're going to talk about Shalom Ink. No. And the second segment, Carmen, you're going to interview me.
A Yuma native.
Yeah, are you going to be?
Born and raised.
Yeah, are you ready for that?
I will be good to you.
Okay, yeah. Cool. I appreciate it. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online through the KAWC YouTube and Facebook pages. And don't forget that you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
Chili from Philly. Unique Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Jonny Porter.
And I'm Carmen Marquez. Good morning. Buenos dias.
Yes, buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. And today our guests are Robert and Adriana Corona. And like I said in the intro, I've known Robert for quite some time now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys were roommates back in the day.
Back in the day, like probably you said about 2000.
Oh yeah, 99, 2000.
99, 2000.
Yeah, it was good times, you know.
Yeah, maybe 99. Yeah, maybe it was 99 because that's when I think first moved out of my house, and I remember I told my mom I'm moving out, and she cried. I just remember her crying. My son, he's leaving, and I was like, Mom, I'm just going up the street right over here. It's like the Manors. It's still part of Okie Town. I'm not going far, but. Anyway, you guys are here because you started a company together called Shalom Ink.
Yes.
And I was kind of surprised to find out, just because I've known you, Robert, for some time. You're the one that started it.
Yes.
You're the one, and the reason why I say surprised is because I'm like trying to think in my head, did he ever have a design background? Did he ever get down with that stuff? Like, and the answer is no, but you had this idea. Tell everybody what Shalom Ink is and a little bit about the idea.
Okay. Well, Shalom Ink, that came out of the blue, like out of left field of what I was planning to do originally, because I always wanted to get into business and start my own business and stuff like that. So what happened is it was kind of like a brainstorming time in my life, and I had an idea of another kind of business that I was really planning to open.
What was that? What was the other business you were thinking of?
It was kind of like a moving business kind of stuff, like something like that, like a service.
A service, okay.
And so what happened is I started kind of like watching, I was kind of like looking at apparel,
okay.
And I always loved the word shalom because Jesus himself, when he walked when he was ministering, he would always say, "Peace be with you." So peace is shalom, is peace in Hebrew. So I always loved that word, and it stuck. So I was thinking, man, Shalom Ink. First it was Shalom.
Shalom. That was the first
Shalom.
Thing. This comes in your head.
Yes, and then it was like I started thinking about like designs. I can, imagery. So my whole idea was on designs was doing like imagery design, not just so much with words, because we do words too with our designs. But what I want to do more so was with imagery to make a statement. Like if you see an image, like the Lion of Judah, you see a lion with the crown on, what that, it depicts.
How would you describe the mission of Shalom Ink?
The mission is pretty much is to promote the kingdom of God. And I was thinking, well, this would be an awesome thing to start, because it wasn't just starting a business. To me, it was also having a vision of helping other people in kingdom ministry and kingdom businesses. And we can, even ministry that needs funding, because ministry needs money to function, So I was like, if we could help people like that with what we make and what we do, we give back to the community, give back to the kingdom, give back to ministry.
So it's a blending of the two things, right? You're a business, but then also you've had this
like a bigger vision too.
A bigger vision because you blended your faith with the part of the business.
Yes.
Right? You came to this, but here's the thing that I'm wondering, right? You get this idea, but you don't have any design background. You know what I mean? Like if I get an idea
Right.
and if I don't have any like skills in it, I'm kind of like, well, that was a dumb idea, you know, or whatever. Like I'm throwing that away, but you didn't say that.
No.
You didn't do that. So what did you do?
I just started getting these ideas of designs, and then we started getting tools and the programs, and I started just figuring it out. How am I going to make this design that I want to do? And I just started.
So you have it in your head, and then you get the tools on the because there's Canva, there's all kinds of different things on the web. Yeah, you and then you start to like tinker with it, and you're not getting like frustrated.
What I had my moment.
You got the Holy Spirit with you on that point, right?
Yeah, it was just.
I'd be so frustrated, like trying to figure it out.
Crash course learning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
It was just like I had to figure it out. I figured it out. I started learning it. Oh, that don't work. This works better, and it just went from there. And then my wife, Adriana, started jumping in, and I started showing her, hey, you know, this is what, because we were, first it started with just the name Shalom. And then we were like, okay, Shalom what? Apparel, this and that, or what were we going to put with it? So we came out with Shalom Ink, INK, and then the rest is history. Then she jumped in, supported.
So let's talk a little bit about that history. When he comes to you and says, I want to start a t-shirt company or something, an apparel line, do you have the same thought that I thought? Like, you don't have any design background. Like, you know, what was your thoughts? And I know you're trying to be a supportive wife too. So, but be honest. Like,
well, when he came to me, he says, I have an idea for a business. And he's been talking about the moving business. And, you know, I have a business background. So I'm like, honey,
you have a business background.
I do.
Okay, tell everybody your business.
So I had a beauty shop, you know, since when I was younger. I had a beauty shop for 3 years. And so I started very young in the beauty industry out of high school, actually. And so my dad always taught me about business. He's got, you know, a lot of business background too. So it's just always in the family.
What'd your dad do?
My dad, he worked for HVAC for many years.
Okay.
But the business he does is like real estate and rentals.
Oh, cool.
And then my grandpa had a store, or abarrotes, they call them in Mexico. It's like a David's Market kind of thing in Mexico and San Luis. So it's always kind of came from there. And when he came to me about the moving business, I said, honey, there's a lot of liability when you buy a truck, trailer. You know, we need to buy things, you know. And I'm going through something that I'll mention, you know, briefly right now in just a minute. But I said, I don't know, honey. I don't know. Why don't you call and, you know, check out the moving business, how it works.
Do some research.
And I already knew right away, and not sound supportive. I didn't want to shoot him down. I wanted him to look into it himself. And so right away I was like, I don't know. Then like a few weeks later, he's like, I think I want to create a brand.
Okay, so there was a few weeks of the moving, and then there obviously the hurdles in your mind about that. And then he says, I want to create a brand. And
I said, a what?
A what?
A what?
Say what now?
And so he says, clothing, like a brand. I was like Versace? And then he's like, yeah, a clothing brand. And I was all, and he's always been into gear. You know, Robert, he likes to, you know, he likes
look
his
good.
Clothes, his Jordans, you know, things like that. And I was like, well, talk to me. Well, you know, the press, you know, t-shirts. I'm like, right away, I was like, honey, everybody has a press in their house here in Yuma, Arizona. Everybody's pressing t-shirts. Yeah, but this is going to be different. And, you know, he was so inspired by it. And I heard him out, of course, and we got into prayer about it. And I've been battling cancer since 2013. So our financial hardships kind of went down a little bit when I got disabled. And I've been at home ever since. But true story, I went to college before I got sick. Or during the time where I was getting diagnosed, my first tumor, I was finishing up my MBA in HR. So I was like, well, I have my schooling and everything. I have a little bit of marketing background from, you know, the college, right? I said, so I'm not scared to dive in. And I'm like that. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm that person. Rob's more of the, let's hang out. Let's talk about it. I'm like, no, let's do it. But then if I know it's just a bad idea whatsoever, right away, I'll be like, why? Because of X, Y, and Z. But let's see if we can work through it. But when quick little testimony about my school is I got into my disability lifestyle now, and I'm home, and Rob takes care of me. So he's my provider. And so when he was thinking about this idea, I said, you know what? Let's go for it, because there's not too much to start up cost, internet, web-based tools,
no overhead,
laptop,
very little overhead,
Very little. And I said, let's go for it. I mean, let's pray about it. And we went for it, and it started building, it started rolling. And then throughout that time of staying home and going through treatments, I just started chemo on Wednesday, actually, 2 days ago. And I feel fine. And it's all because of the healing, mercy that I have upon me. But and going through that treatment and everything, you got bills, you got student loans and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So when I got disabled, I called the student loans. Hey, I can't pay you right now. Like, I have no money coming in. My income's gone. Like, I have to wait for Social Security disability or something like that. And they're like, really? Let's help you with this department over here. So they helped me fill out an application for assistance or something like that. I called back 30 days later, seriously, with late fees, interest and everything, because I was just paying the minimum, at the time. It went up to almost $180,000.
Wow.
My school from start to finish. I'm the first one in my generation to get a higher education degree. So I went just full in, just signing the student loans. Oh, you don't have to pay right now. Sign. I didn't know better. I didn't go for any degrees or tuition, savings or anything like that. So I went in to school blindly, but I'm so proud of myself, for doing what I did. So anyways, I called back 30 days. I'm checking up on this application. What do I do? What's going to happen? I really can't afford this right now. And they're like, oh, your debt is forgiven. $0.
What?
100% forgiven. My student loans.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So just
God paid for it.
So you would say an answer a prayer.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Amazing miracle and testimony right there, how he paid for my college.
And that's pretty interesting that, because I've learned it's like when you face it, those things can happen. But if you don't face it, they're always in the back of your head. Like, I have this debt, debt. So it's better to make the phone call to face it. And then you're like, hey, you're just honest. And then because of your honesty and facing it, you were able to get this total freedom from this thing that's been hanging over your head, which is incredible. That's a pretty incredible story.
To pay?
It was like $180,000.
No way.
Yeah, and I'm being modest about it. But with that said, going through a disability and being so young, I did get a little sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my life now? You feel that self-pity.
How old were you when you got diagnosed?
That was in 2013. So about 16 years ago, about 31, 32.
31. So you're facing that at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find out? Can you walk me through that day?
Well, I had something growing on the back of my leg, towards like the back of the leg, and I thought a bug bit me or something. My brother had a pool at the time, and I was like, "Ooh, I have like a mosquito bite or something." Kept growing, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And my brother, such a jokester, he's like, "Ew, you have to go to the doctor, and they're gonna pop that, like the pimple popper, Dr. Pimple Popper," because we used to watch those shows, and he used to joke with me, and I'm like, "Ew, don't say that, how gross." So I ended up going to the doctor. It started bothering me. I started sitting kind of lopsided, and I used to be a hairdresser, stand up all day, so I really didn't sit much throughout the day, so I didn't really notice it until I would sit down at night or at home, and my legs started falling asleep. I was like, this is not normal. So I had a biopsy, and it turned out to be the type of cancer I was diagnosed with is called myxoid liposarcoma, and it attacks the tissue and the muscles. Mine was just in the muscle at the time. Yeah.
Okay, so you're faced with this, and you're getting a new perspective on life, but income has to come in. So what do you do, Robert, besides this? Do you have like a full-time job, or is this?
Yeah, I'm full-time. I'm a driver at the school, and I use my CDL because about 7 years ago, I got my Class A CDL.
Okay.
So I always kept that to fall back on, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you have that to have some security, full-time job, and then this is your pathway to freedom because you want to have your own company. Okay.
And there's flexibility in my job because the summers we don't work much, so I can fully jump in and push this more, you know.
I think it's
get
a
my
perfect
hands
setup.
Yeah,
It's a
a lot more
perfect
flexibility
setup,
in this job.
So what do you mean the perfect setup?
Like he's off it's his second year working at the school district, and so he's off like all holidays, winter breaks, summers.
Okay, gotcha.
So he's like, I need to find supplemental income for like the summertime and stuff. This is a new role for us, and he was in city transit before, and so that was like year round. So this just worked out perfect. Where he likes to move. He always likes to work. He likes to, make money. So do I. I do hairdressing on the side still. I was a hairdresser for 23 years. So with me, I'm on my 5th tumor right now that I got diagnosed with. And the 3rd one, actually, they removed part of my pelvis. So I can't stand in a beauty shop all day anymore.
wow.
So I just have a few friends that I do their hair for some side money and, kind of stay in the business, maybe try nail tech or something, because I have a full cosmetology license. I could do the nails too and sit down all day, but I really didn't get into nails. I like the hair and the color and stuff,
I will be hitting
but,
you.
but I love what I do. I love people, and just Robert's schedule is just an amazing schedule. Not only to be able to help me and be with me if I were to get too sick or something, it's just amazing, like how everything's lining up, like, how it lined up for you. We were talking about it, and it's so rewarding. And how you mentioned no web design or anything. Yeah, I remember at first when I looked at that web tool and I was like, how do you do this? How do you do the shadows? And then YouTube University, right?
Yeah, you got to go to YouTube and find everything out. Yeah.
And so finally we were looking at some of those things, and then I started getting hangry. I was like, go to Subway. I'm not cooking. I'm too into this right now. He came back home and I had finished the first design. It was his design, his imagery,
Okay.
And then he's like, I want to do this. He told me what he wanted to do. And we couldn't figure it out. So he says, go buy a sandwich or something.
Go get it. Okay. Yeah, you're hungry. Get mama some food.
And so he came back, and when he came back, I had like figured it out. I concentrated and I figured it out. I was like, whoa, how did you do that? I don't know. I just put this, and then there's an AI thing right here, and then there's that, and then from there we just picked it up.
So because
let's take a break real quick. Yeah. I want to take a break, and I want to find out after that first design, pressing that first shirt, how it felt. Okay. We're gonna do that after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Registration is open for the Yuma Territorial Marathon, Half Marathon, and 10K race on Saturday, January 31st. Hosted by the Caballeros de Yuma, this out and back course with minimal elevation change is a qualifier for the Boston Marathon. Runners of all levels are welcome. Information at yumamarathon.com.
You're tuned to 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio. I'm Juan Garcia from the KWC Newsroom. Partly sunny in Yuma today with the high near 72. Partly cloudy tonight with a low around 50. The Yuma Police Department has released additional details about an officer-involved shooting that occurred Wednesday night and resulted in the death of a driver. To read more, visit kawc.org/news. Stay tuned for more What's Up Yuma on KOFA 94.7 FM, Border Radio.
Hey, it's Ana Maria Sayer from NPR Music. Have you ever dreamed of playing behind the iconic Tiny Desk? Now's your opportunity to join the ranks of artists ranging from Robert Plant to Doechii and Catriel y Paco Amoroso to Chaperone. Unsigned musicians can enter NPR's Tiny Desk contest between now and February 9th. Learn more and see the official rules at npr.org/tinydeskcontest.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here talking to Robert and Adriana from Shalom Ink. And we got to the point where you went to YouTube University. You're sitting down, you're figuring it out. You know you're hungry. Robert goes out. He gets you that sandwich. And you got your first design, but I want to take it to when you got the first press, right? When you got the first shirt, what that was like, because I'm familiar with the business. I've had a lot of shirts made for myself, had different people. Actually, even this hat I'm wearing today, been around it. It's not easy.
No.
Okay, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah. So doing the print, you think, I'm going to just throw it on there and just press it, right?
Yeah.
So I also was doing a lot of research with printing, pressing, shirts, everything. a little before we started. I was going on YouTube, trying, checking out different people on their channels. And I was like, wow, this, there's a little more to it, right? So then what I did is, so we're sitting there printing, and we're gonna print, and we're trying to get the angle down, everything straight, but finally we get it. We have to look at the temperature, make sure you have the temperature right, your seconds, everything. So I think we did some practice shirts, right? Didn't we do that? A couple of practice shirts. So if we burn it, mess it up.
Yeah, that's a way to do it. Yeah, you got to get the practice shirts.
That's all right. But
that's my throw-on shirt.
Yeah, I would just do throw-on shirt, right? So but when we got it down and our first actual shirt we're gonna press and put it out, it was the feeling was awesome, because it's like you're legit, what I'm saying? You're official. We actually,
our very first job that we did was actually a donation to New Mountain Church for our church for their land fund. And so when we printed all those shirts, I can't remember how many it was top of my head right now, because we still have more to print, but we started, doing the peel, and it was just a very satisfying, very rewarding feeling of just what it's going to do for the kingdom.
Oh, gotcha. Because you said, explain to people that might not know a land fund. It means you're trying to get a bigger church or like an actual establishment, right?
Yeah. So New Mountain Church bought 5 acres off of 32nd and 5E around that neighborhood. And we have a land fund at the church, and people from the church donate items and things that they make. Bella Vita 2.0 donates marinara sauce, and then a local family, a brother, his name is Juan, they donate orchard honey and many other crafts that people
do. So all of these, and then now you are able to be a part of it by this idea that Rob Jeezy, I like to call him, back in the day, this was Rob Jeezy. But then you're able to give to this fund now, and that also probably felt really good.
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
that was
our prayer. We want to give.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
That was mainly it started off as a business idea. Then I was like, nah, this is like, and I told her, like, the vision, there's a vision behind this. This is not just another business where someone's starting. And I'm not, saying, I'm just saying for us, what was different for us is that we're not just starting a business, but there's a vision and there's a purpose for it. Like, excuse me, like ministry, right? You got ministry, like what we did for the church and stuff like that. Also, I got ideas of like, hey, start funding like a food run. I love feeding the poor, the hungry people. You know what I'm saying? It was just like it's a little.
So there's layers to it.
Yeah, like I didn't start this and say I'm gonna hit 6 figures by the end of this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, like
it'd be nice.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice, right? But it was like, well, you know what? We can do more with this than just it's money. Money plays a part, but there's a bigger vision as far as, if we don't make all that money right away,
what you're going to do,
we'll still give. We'll still give and help people, our ministry, maybe with shirts, maybe go help them with funding something, what they need help with. And if we're doing that still, and maybe the money ain't rolling in already, then, hey, you know what? We're doing what this was supposed to, what this was based on, what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then, so you have the Shalom Ink, you're doing shirts, but then you also incorporated jewelry. Am I correct? Accessories. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Explain that.
So we started, partnering up with a hybrid model. We're an e-commerce store too. So we just
explain that. So because off air, you told me when you and Robert talked that you're going to have a website, and that you were pretty confident you could take this where people can order it anywhere.
Correct.
Anytime. Go ahead.
Correct. Yeah. So when he came to me about this vision and, local business, right? With my background, my undergrad is global business. So I always wanted, my first dream job before hairdressing was to become a chef and move to Paris.
Oh, cool.
So I got a global degree just because it sounded cool, right? No, I was kidding. No, you learn about, international trade and all that stuff. And I really love that. And we're by Mexico.
Yeah.
So
why not? Yeah.
I could
Makes
have done
sense.
something with Mexico
Absolutely.
right here. And I said, might as well. And I don't see and hear people having a global business degree or international law or anything. And I love law too, by the way. But with that said, I said, hey, what if we do something like this? Because I started helping him with research on the business model and things like that. And then I'm over here with my admin side of things, his helpmate. I created the business plan, business model. I asked him questions, and then I ran it by him. And I said, what do you think about an internet or, an online stories on? Do we need all that? And I said, well, we can take this nationwide. And as soon as we launched the website, we got our LLC and everything last year in July, but we launched a website sometime in the fall last year. I can't remember exact dates, but we were quiet about it. We didn't really announce it. We didn't have the social medias yet or anything. We're just kind of going with the flow, learning the business, learning the press, learning the printing, the web tools. And then I said, I think I could do this. And so when I started volunteering at the Healing House of Yuma as their administrative secretary per se, I met the president, Mr. Lauren Alves, and he taught me a few things about business, AI, things like that. And I picked it up real quick because I used to work for Verizon Wireless too. So I learned a lot about the technology side of things in general, So I'm not afraid of computers, laptops, nothing like that. I'll break it apart, put it back together.
Yeah, there you
I don't
go.
care.
Yes.
And I'm not even an IT person, but I'll do it, Actually, if anything, when COVID hit and I was working with Verizon Wireless, everybody shut down, right? The stores and everything. So we had to go home. They gave us a laptop like in 2 days, headsets. They gave us a 1-day training, and we launched on the air, like the online customer service. And it broke the internet because it was so overwhelmed. And so we used to use this digital, phone thing. And so we were sitting ducks for like 2-3 weeks, and we were getting paid, and I was bored. And they're like, shut up, don't say nothing, all my coworkers, right? And so when that happened, I just went on Google and started researching the program that they were using and everything. And I found that AT&T was Unit 2 or Sprint or whoever it was at the time. And they wrote down the steps on how to fix it. So I started doing the settings on my own, and I got on a phone call and I started working. So I let my boss know, and we fixed it in the whole district. And I got recognized for fixing something. A president of like the IT department called me, and they're like, how did you know how to do that? I was like, I Googled it.
So you have the skills so that you're taking that confidence into this new venture that you have here. And so you got the website, and if you have an e-commerce, there's more you could do, right? More you could sell. So how'd you get the accessories involved?
The accessories with the print on demand. So we do a hybrid model. We look up different companies that host whatever products we decide to buy from them. We design it, and we could either market it ourselves or they do it for us. And so that's how you get any other merchandise like jewelry. We have puzzles, magnets, other accessory items like that. But we have the opportunity to print our own things on demand and local as well. So that's what we call it, a hybrid.
Yeah. So do you help with the jewelry side and accessory side designing, or is that all Robert too?
Both of us.
Both of you guys.
Yeah,
okay.
more. She was
Both of
kind
us.
of came up with more of that idea. And
Our
designing.
first accessory was a jewelry, like 2 interconnected hearts, because I really liked it. And I'm a joke. We're girls, right? We love jewelry. And it was beautiful. And then Robert's like, I want to make a Jesus piece. And it's like a dog tag, and it has a Jesus piece with actually this logo, if I may show it.
Yeah, you can do
this
that.
logo right here.
Gotcha.
And then it's a dog tag. But this was our second accessory design, was a backpack, because my nephews, they love Jesus. And I said, hey, how about a backpack? I just started thinking because they're walking in, from school. And I'm like, would you like a Jesus backpack? And it just, ideas just born like that.
Gotcha.
And so when I showed them the design, my nephews are like, oh, can I get a red one? Can I get a blue one? So I see the excitement behind it from consumers in a sense. And it just started from there. This is actually a backpack we're going to give away in a contest tomorrow. We're going to do a giveaway. And we're partnered up with Coffee Bean and Melissa Matos. She's a realtor here in town. And we're going to also give away this Psalm 91 puzzle that we created. Beautiful puzzle. Gets you connected to the word, some fellowship. And I believe Coffee Bean's going to donate a few coffee bean cards. And Melissa Matos has a great giveaway, like a coffee.
How'd that come together? You guys just
we're friends.
You're all friends, and you decided to come together and do something.
We're all friends. They asked us about our business. We told them we're Kingdom Mindset. They are also Kingdom business women, and so we're
they've been really supportive and encouraging. They show a lot of love, when we're telling them and sharing what we're doing. A lot of support. So also, words have power, right? So that's part of it. Words have power. Shalom, we're putting out, designs and stuff like that. And also in my mind was like, words have power, and I look at the youth right now, and if they're sporting, you got them trending and sporting stuff that promotes maybe sometimes violence and on the shirt prints. And I said, why not make also designs that help promote like a piece that promotes God, promotes something that's, powerful, and that's another thing why what I wanted to put out there. I wanted to mention why I put that out there as designing and the words, because words are powerful. So if someone's sporting with something with either negative words or positive words, it's gonna go forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna relate a message. So I think this is real big on also doing this and going through with it is just promoting the kingdom of God, promoting the name of Jesus and pressing that forth again, bringing Jesus back to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're going to have to wrap it up right now, but let everybody know where they could find you on social media, website, and everything. And then one more time about how that giveaway is going to go.
Okay, so the giveaway is tomorrow. You find us on social media on Facebook or Instagram. We're also on TikTok. And on Facebook and Instagram, we have a post where you like, comment, tag two friends, and help us support, grow our awareness and get to know us and connect with us. And we'll be doing it at the Coffee Bean tomorrow, I believe around 10 a.m. We'll be there. The winners can come and hang out, have some coffee. Claudia has some new drinks that just started up for like the Valentine's season. Yummy. I can't wait to. Their matcha is
really
amazing there. I can't believe the matcha is so good. And so you can find us there. And then what else did you want me to mention? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So just where you could be found, and then spell Shalom Ink for people listening on the radio right now.
So Shalom Ink is SHALOM. Ink is INK, and our website is www.shalomink.com.
Perfect. So people can go out and support. And then
one last thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I want to know what's ahead for Shalom Ink. And
there you
family.
go. Yes.
Oh,
what's ahead?
What's the vision?
The head. What's ahead is even starting ministries.
Okay.
If we start growing. Nonprofit, ministries that reach people, man, reach the lost. There's a lot of lost out there, especially the youth right now, man. It's just like my heart goes out, So
maybe even some vision that I got is donating backpacks, like to the schools or for the kids in need, But we're just going where the Lord says to.
Yeah, we say. Jesus is the CEO, you know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Straight up, he directs us.
And he's the marketing director.
The rudder, and we just go with it and we pray about everything. We really see God and, we push forward. We're going to keep pushing forward and just reach people and hopefully touch people that need, they need it,
Yes,
they need it.
So back when Robert and I lived together, I would expose them to a lot of Christian hip hop back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's, I can see some of that influence in some of the
stuff. We want to do a little bit.
Did you also rap?
Yeah, at one point I did.
Yeah.
Not as
Can
good
you both rap something right now?
No, not at all. No, I'm not going to do it right now. But Robert did a little bit. Yeah. We did that. And
they're shy.
Yeah. I got to get interviewed after this. I'm nervous. I haven't been interviewed in a long time. But Robert.
Like me.
Yeah, Robert did. He did rap a little bit back in the day.
So we did bring some gifts for you guys.
There we go. I like gifts.
They got me this beautiful necklace that says Jesus. It's a heart-shaped Jesus. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
I got this
really
shirt. Oh,
gorgeous.
man, this is printed on a nice shirt, too.
Yeah.
Soft style. I like
I'm
the
about
soft
to wear
style.
it. I'm about
Cool.
to wear it.
Well, thank you guys so much for being with us. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys grow, and I hope your event goes really well tomorrow, and nothing but the best for you in the future.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, Yeah, I'm in the hot seat for once. Carmen's going to interview me. So you
Let's
ready,
prep for
Carmen?
this. Yeah, I'm prepping right now.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, we're going to do that after this break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Student educational opportunities at KAWC and Border Radio are sponsored by Avenir Financial, a local credit union helping residents of Yuma and La Paz counties improve their financial circumstances with personalized financial tools and support. Learn about Avenir's commitment to tomorrow at avenirfinancial.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
This week on the Retro Cocktail Hour, a Japanese big band does the mambo. We'll hear new exotic sounds by vibraphonist Carolyn Trowbridge and a band called Sometimes We Only Worry. I'm Daryl Brogdon. Join me where the music's shaken, not stirred. The Retro Cocktail Hour.
Saturday evening from 7 to 9 on Border Radio KOFA.
For KAWC News, I'm Alexandra Rangel. The Yuma Police Department released new details about an officer-involved shooting that resulted in the death of a man Wednesday night. According to the initial investigation, officers were conducting a surveillance on a residence linked to suspected drug activity. Police attempted to pull over a driver leaving the residence, but the driver failed to stop and fled the area. Police later located the vehicle near West Colorado Street. Initial review of body camera footage shows the driver allegedly using the vehicle in a way that endangered officers, appearing to pin one officer against the fence and drive toward a second officer. That's when officers fired their weapons, striking the driver. He's been identified as 58-year-old Sergio Mencia Ramos. YPD says the officers involved have been placed on modified duty, and the Yuma Regional Critical Incident Response Team will conduct an independent investigation. For more details, visit our website. For KAWC News, I'm Alexandra Rangel.
The 7th annual Tour de Fields bicycle ride will take place in Welton on March 21st with pre-registration and bike bash on the 20th. The event, open to participants of all ages, will feature various ride lengths, all of which wind their way past the scenic agricultural fields of Welton. More information and registration is at tourdefields.org.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. Next time on Latino USA, what does recovery look like a year after the devastating fires in Los Angeles? Who gets to rebuild? Who leaves? That's next time on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
Ever wanted to be on the radio? Still talking into your hairbrush in the mirror? Border Radio needs you as a volunteer host. Share music, stories, and local conversations that matter. No experience necessary. We'll provide the training. Email info@borderradioaz.org or call 877-838-5292 for more information.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. And now is the time. It's going to be the first. And it was because I got mixed up with somebody being booked and they couldn't make it today. But it's my fault. But we're going to turn it into something positive. And Carmen, you're going to interview me today.
This is so exciting. And I'm so blessed to be doing this, Jonny.
Oh, thank you.
I think everyone wants to hear, who is this guy that's been behind the mic for 15 to 16 years in Yuma, Arizona, right? Like,
Yeah.
who is Jonny Porter? So Jonny
Still
Porter,
trying to figure that out myself, but yeah.
Yeah, well, we love to see it, and we love to have you here. And I was just telling you off air right now, we love having you highlight our stories, our community. So that's amazing. So Jonny Porter is a proud Yuma native, born and raised in the Okietown neighborhood. His story starts with resilience early on. He was pulled from his regular classroom in second grade and placed into the special ed system, spending much of his childhood in speech therapy and specialized classes. He carried that experience all the way through school and graduated in 1988, attending both Kofa High School and Vista High School while working to catch up on credits and stay on track.
I messed up on part of it. It's 1998 in the bio, but sorry. But yes, 1998. But
so tell us, Jonny, like, this is insane for me. Like you were in special ed classes, you had something with your speech.
Yeah. So it was two things. And I remember that. And I put that in my bio for a reason, right? That's like a big part because it's a very early memory of mine. But I remember being in second grade and the teacher's trying to tell me to do some stuff. And I'm like, I'm doing it. And the teacher's like, no, you're not. Like, you're not. And everybody else in the class is doing this stuff and it has to do with writing. And it's like, come on, you could do it. Like, it's like, I'm doing it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. And they're like, oh, something's wrong. Yeah. Right. And so I remember like, okay, Jonny, we're going to do something. And some other people came into my class and they took me to a room and they took me where I had to do like puzzle pieces and I had to do all these things and all this testing and stuff like that for a while. And I only got to go back to that class. In second grade, you have the one teacher, right, the whole time. And I only got to go back to that class part-time. The rest of the time, I'm with these specialized people that are, because my biggest thing, I couldn't write. I couldn't do things with my hands. Okay. I feel like I'm never totally in my body or have control over it. It was very difficult. So they took me out and they put me in these classes, and they also noticed like he can't really talk that well as well. And so they put me in speech classes, and I didn't know, like, you don't know, you're just a second grade kid and you're just thinking you're like this. And I did get picked on a lot, but it's just like, that's part of being life. And, but yeah, I got taken out and put into these classes for pretty much the remainder of my life.
So second grade, you're how old?
Oh man, what was I? 7? I think 7 years old.
7. Mm-hmm. What about your parents? Okay, so tell me about your family, the Porter family.
Yeah.
Are they Yuma natives? Where did you guys come from?
Yeah, both of my my mom and dad, they're from here. Well, my mom is actually from New York originally.
Okay.
Yeah, she moved here. She from New York with her family, and my dad's from here. His parents, my grandfather, Utah, my nana, Mexico, and but yeah, they're pretty much been here their whole lives.
So you grew up in Okietown.
Yeah.
And Okietown has a history.
Yeah, it has a history. And I put that in there as well because that's a part of it, right? I grew up and I'm only part Mexican and stuff, and trying to find my place in this place where it was pretty much a lot of gang activity. Even walking to school, going to Gila Vista, I had to pass by these certain houses where these guys were out drinking at 7 in the morning, 7:30 with the 40s and stuff like that. And then they're like, hey, you're going to have to be a part of us one day. Hey, it's coming, like, and I'm like, what are we doing? It's like, yeah, you got to get jumped in. You got to be a part of this. This is your neighborhood, so that played a big role in my life as well. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing.
I feel like from your early childhood, you had to kind of feel that you had to prove yourself, right? Because of special ed classes, because they told you were different. And then because of your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to be someone else in order to like be part of this.
Absolutely. Right. And then I remember thinking to myself, like, Mom and Dad, why'd you bring me to this neighborhood? Like, why am I here? What is this? And it was, confusion. But one thing I got to say is that my mom was always very supportive. And she would help. And this is what I try to help. And this is why I like to highlight people. She was like, you're different for a reason. You're different for a reason, and this is your superpower. So use it. Use it as for something good. It's like, yeah, Mom, but the other kids, and they're like this and they're like that. It's like, but that's okay. But you're different for a reason. So you could be empathetic. Like, and I didn't know that word, but she was like, so you could kind of have grace for them and like see that differently. So like I see my friends, and I grew up in Okietown, a lot of drug use with my friends and my friends' parents. And stuff, and a lot of violence, and constantly cops, and all these things.
And that was not the case at home.
Not the case at home, thank God. Like that wasn't a big thing at home, but it was surrounding me, all of it, right? And you're a kid, you don't want to be home, so I'm at their houses anyway. But so it's a part of my life. But I'm seeing it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I feel bad for them now, right? Like I got some like maybe sensitivity towards it. Yeah.
Empathy.
Yeah.
So okay. Do you grow up being a shy kid?
Yeah, definitely. I was shy because I couldn't talk right. So I couldn't say R's. I could never say an R. So they called me, this is back in the day when Roger Rabbit was popular, but they called me Wadja Rabbit because that was how I talk. I talk like that, right? Seriously, that's how I talk. And so it's like, hey, it's Roger Rabbit. There's Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, that makes you shy, right? But I'm also my only thing that I found that I could do though, I talk because I can't write, I can't do anything else, but I could talk. So not well, but I could talk. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, in that, right, I would still be social. I would be shy inside, but I'd still talk. And I remember one of the teachers back at McGraw, they said that I had diarrhea of the mouth because I wouldn't shut up. So I was still talking, right? I was still shy, but I couldn't I couldn't do my work.
Yeah.
I couldn't you're trying to give me some work, but I have no concept of what you're trying to do. So I just go around and talk.
Did they give it a name, a diagnosis?
Yeah, they did. And they originally they were looking for what's it called? Dyslexia and stuff like that. But there wasn't quite dyslexia. So they gave it some big long name. I don't remember it anymore. But I just remember I never really got to go back to my regular classes. And, you know, I never took like a real English class or a real math class ever.
So you are 7 years old when they put you in special ed, but then let's leap into like 15 because you start rapping.
Yes.
So what happens in between those years?
They did a good job with the speech, right?
Very good job.
I finally could say an R. I still have to kind of be conscious of it, right? And then about 14, 15, hip hop becomes real popular in the hood. They're listening to Little Rob and Mr. Capone and stuff like that. But then I find like Wu-Tang Clan and some of this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. I like how they put the words together. So I start to do that. And then I noticed that I started to get attention, like good attention by doing it.
Because you were rapping in high school.
Yeah. So I started really in junior high a little bit, but then high school, like I would rap at the lunch at school. Yeah. So at school, like where they have a lunch thing, I would go over there and I would just rap. And like, is anybody else rap? Anybody do this? You know? So I would kind of get some attention, some good attention for once, you know? And then also I was like, hey, maybe this is how I can impress the girls. But yeah, they didn't care too much, but still, that's what I did.
So you start rapping. What's the reaction from your parents? Like this shy kid who, you know, like all of a sudden likes attention and is rapping in high school and junior high.
So my mom was always super supportive of everything that I did. So I was able to kind of fall back on her anytime I had any self-doubts or anything. But my dad, you know, he didn't understand. Yeah, he didn't get it, you know, and it's okay, right? That's not his thing, you know. He would sit me down. He's like, put on records of Bob Marley or Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or stuff, you know. It's like, here, this is what you need to listen to, son. This is good music, you know. Yeah.
Okay. So when you were performing back then, what do you think you were actually like really chasing? Was it a matter of like respect, identity?
That's the thing. Yeah. Identity and respect. Absolutely. That's what it was. I was like, because then I again, the talking part and having a way with words, I kind of always had that, even though I didn't have the structure to be able to enunciate the things, but I always had a way with words. And so I was like, I was different than a lot of the other rappers that were doing it. I would be complex and I would like do multi-syllable stuff, like stuff that Eminem ended up doing later, right? Like I was doing that early on because there was other rappers like the ones that Eminem learned from like Master Ace and stuff like that and Cool G Rap. But so I was doing that. And so it was a shock. It got so bad, shocking wise, is that like I would go try to battle people, right? Because battling was big. And then people would be like, don't battle him. He'll take, like, don't do it. He's different, right? So nobody would want to like battle me. Nobody would want to rap with me because it was like kind of above their heads a little bit.
It was such a challenge.
Yeah, it was a challenge and it was different. It wasn't just the regular, you know, kind of beat and rap. It was like, very intricate and thought out.
So I'm thinking, what are you rapping about?
So I'm a little bit of a nerd on stuff. So like philosophical stuff. I get deep, like I like poetry, stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So it was a lot of the like introspective stuff. And then
So it wasn't like sex and
no,
drugs.
not at all, because that's not how my mom raised me, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't my thing. A little bit when I learned from that, like, because that's what like NWA tapes were around for my cousin and stuff, and Ice-T and these guys, you know. So I learned by kind of mimicking their stuff. But then I was like, but that's not me. That's not how my mom raised me. So I'm not going to be talking about that stuff, you know. Yeah. My dad ended up later on in life, or when I got into like junior high, like he was a big studying the Bible and stuff like that. So he tried to teach us, like he was an alcoholic and then changed his life, no longer alcoholic. And so like he tried to put that really into our lives.
Yeah. So at 18 or even younger, were you pursuing like this rapper becoming an artist lifestyle, or did you have... Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
like that was it. That was the dream.
That was absolutely the dream. And hold on, do we need to take a break, Talon? Yeah, we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back with that. All right. So, all right, we'll be back. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Blood services provider Vitalant is hosting blood drives at Yuma locations on an ongoing basis. Daily personal emergencies and ongoing medical needs of thousands of patients require a constant and ready blood supply. Donations of all blood types, especially O, are needed. Locations, dates, and appointments at donors.vitalant.org.
This week on Arizona Edition.
The dream means to me is that we can all wake up one day and be peaceful.
The NAACP led its annual MLK Walk. Plus, we're heading south of the border to Algodones. We're talking with business owners and winter visitors about how business is shaping up this year. Those stories on Arizona Edition, Saturday morning at 10 on KOFA 94.7 FM, Border Radio.
Partly sunny in Flagstaff today with a high near 47 and a chance of snow showers mixed with rain. Mostly cloudy this evening with low around 28 and snow showers likely mixed with rain. In Kingman, partly sunny with the high near 60 and gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Cloudy tonight with a low around 40 and a slight chance of showers. Mostly cloudy in Prescott with a high near 55. A 50% chance of showers tonight with low around 35. And in Yuma, partly sunny with the high near 72. Partly cloudy tonight with low around 50.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here, and Carmen is interviewing me right now, so I'll let her get back to it.
Okay, all right. So I was asking about what you were pursuing.
Yeah.
You wanted to become like the biggest rapper.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did good. And I ended up doing battles later and winning money at battles. So like a lot of like the lowrider car shows ended up having some battle competitions in certain places. And even like certain churches would do it because they're trying to reach the youth. And so I started to win battles. And back in the day, Z93, they put on a big battle. That I was able to enter. So it was good. So yeah, I definitely, it's like, I have a future in this. And I pulled on that thread throughout my whole life until, later in life, I should say, I really did. And I went out and you kind of mentioned off air. So, right. You have to have, like I asked Robert, you got to have a job.
Yep.
Right. So I was lucky enough to get a job in, not electrical. Well, I guess it's low voltage work, which is electrical adjacent. And I was doing construction. So I started off in the construction field and doing that. And then also pursuing my dream. And by that, what I would do as a rapper I'd go to shows. I'd go to a lot of shows. And
in town?
No, like I travel like San Diego, LA, Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And this is later. So I'm about 20 at this time. And I'm going to these shows and I wanted to learn, like, how do these guys make it? Like, how do they do it? And then I'm like, they're not going to want to talk to me, right? But I have these questions. So what I started to do was I go to these shows and I noticed that they're, when you're first starting off in hip hop, like, if you're not signed to a big label, you do everything yourself. And so I'm noticing these guys are having to set up and tear down all their gear by themselves. And so I'd stick around to the end of the night. And it's like, hey, do you need help tearing down? They're like, yeah, I do actually.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll help you tear down, And so I'd help them wrap up the mic cords and stuff like that. And I knew how to do that kind of stuff and, put away their gear and stuff. And they're like, hey, by the way, we're going to go to IHOP right now and get something to eat. You want to come? I was like, absolutely.
Okay.
And
That's
so,
what you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
You wanted to get close to like.
Right, getting close. So yeah, so I did that. And pulled on that thread until eventually starting a record label with one of the guys that I did that with years and years previous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humble Beast Records had a record label, signed my brother-in-law to the record label. He since passed away, Citizen AIM. He had cystic fibrosis. He was an incredible artist. But throughout that time, still I'm working, still working.
So before we move forward, I want to know, when you're in this career to becoming a rapper, you're you're chasing your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that one person who believes in you? Because we all need that one person.
Yeah. So the biggest one, again, was my mom. Like, she was the consistent thread through everything,
Okay.
that always.
Would you
and
sit down in the living room and rap with her or rap to her?
She would see it because I would. Again, going back to Robert, in church, they would give us a microphone and stuff. And so I started doing like Christian hip hop. It was an outreach, like a ministry, like Robert said.
Yeah.
And so she would come see me perform all the time. Right.
Okay.
So I was performing constantly for the church and like parks and, different things. And so they should see it all the time.
Did you have CDs? Where was your music?
So I eventually did some CDs and put some stuff together, got with some other people in town that we started the open mic with.
Okay.
So
Talk to me about this open mic.
Yeah, I know we don't have a lot of time, but so then I wanted to be heard beyond that. Right. And I wasn't like big on just trying to do like a Christian scene, like go out and like what they're doing. I want to like everybody.
Yeah.
I'm a collective guy. And so I got with people that were just rapping. I don't care what your faith is or whatever, like just get together. Let's do something. Okay. And we started open mic at Java Oasis, where I went in and like, hey, if I make you money, can I use your place? And they're like, sure, if you make me money, And so, I started open mic there, open to everybody, whatever your political affiliation, whatever you believe, philosophy, go over here and say it. If poetically, slam poetry, do hip hop or acoustic, who cares?
As you grew into this concert production gig, what did you learn about community and creativity in Yuma?
So one thing I learned was that if you do it that way, you're going to get support. So it's funny because this was big when emo was big. So when I'm doing this, and emo music is really big at this time. And so some people would come in and kind of do that type of music, like this indie stuff. And so they would go up and perform, and then we would perform. And then all these emo indie kids actually became fans of ours. Right. So we have this whole thing of the kids that dress different than us, have this totally different style, but they're coming to all of our shows and everything. And they're supporting us, buying our merch and everything. And so I really learned that, community is the way to go. Right. And I started listening to their music as well. And yeah.
So, Jonny, at some point you realized you couldn't chase the music dream forever. Right.
Yeah.
So when was that? And what made you pivot?
So my buddy of mine, the one I started the record label with, he actually got a record deal with Akon, and Akon was huge at that time. And he showed me the record deal, and it was like, oh my goodness, you're going to be broke at the end of this. Akon gets all the money back. And I was like, these don't work well. Like they give you a lot of money, but you have to pay it all back. That's the way it's called, a record advance. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. And plus I can't live on people's couches. And I have a family. I have kids. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to take all of this that I've learned. And because I was doing the radio simultaneously for those years, everything that I learned, and I'm going to throw it to businesses and started a marketing company.
Okay. Tell me about that marketing company. And we only have a little bit of time. But
yeah. So I started a marketing company and started helping local businesses, kind of using that same model that you would do with an artist. Because I was an A&R at the record label, and A&R builds up the artist and makes him marketable and make sure he has everything he needs. And so I started doing that for businesses.
Okay. So I feel like we need to fast forward now.
Yeah.
How did you get to radio?
So radio was, I had the marketing company. My business partner, he was at the radio station, and he said, hey, the host is leaving. You want to be my co-host? I got to fill in for him because he worked there. And I said, absolutely. And so this is like 15 years ago. And I filled in as a co-host. And then when the host came back the next week, I stayed there. And I just continued to stay there until they gave me a job like 13 years later.
That's insane. And you've been doing radio for how long now?
So about 15, 16 years. I sat there on and off because I worked different jobs and different start times. But that radio started at, had to be there at 5:45, and I could be there for an hour and do good and then go to work. So I would just do that part-time because, and I did it for free because like, who's going to teach me? Nobody's going to teach me.
But you need to tell them, like, you did it for free for how long?
For like 13 years until they said
free, guys.
until they said, hey, he's going out of town again. Get Jonny to fill in. And they're like, oh, I was like, okay, I'll fill in. And then they're like, hey, put it on your time card. And I was like, I don't have a time card. I don't work here. Yeah.
Why is there music playing?
Because we're out of time.
No.
Yeah. We're doing like a part 2 or something.
We do need to do a part 2. Jonny, thank you so much for sharing your story. I think we all love you in town and we love what you do for community. And stay tuned for like a part 2 of this.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I appreciate that.
Okay.
And now we're going to read the legal stuff. What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornales, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And on Monday's program, we're going to have Amy Ballard along with John Durazo, who's doing coffee, and you can learn about how to spend your money with John.
You can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
All right. Thank you again. I appreciate it. I sprung that on you last night.
Oh, man. Thank you so much, Jonny. Loved hearing your story.
All right. And the rest of you have a good weekend.
You are tuned into KOFA Yuma Border Radio 94.7 FM and 1320 AM. We can also be heard with the KOFA app and at kawc.org. We have been a service of Arizona Western College since 1970.
The Yuma Art Center hosts the opening reception for Spark, Places of Innovation, on Friday, February 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. This Smithsonian exhibition explores how rural communities generate new ideas through people, place, and creativity. Hors d'oeuvres and a cash bar will be available. Details at yumaaz.gov under events.
BBC News with Sue Montgomery.